Hi everyone, my name is Aryka Randall. I am the creator of thefabfemme.com. I'm also a mixed kid. I am a little bit of a flower child, and I'm also a fabulous femme. Um, I would say that people's immediate reaction is just like, oh, like they're surprised. Um, I've never really gotten any like negative reactions per se, but sometimes people will be like, ask me like why or how that happened or, well, what happened, you and your boyfriend, and just like stupid comments like that. But usually they're just surprised. I would say that the most challenging part about being a femme for me is maybe having to come out all the time. And it's not really so much challenging as it is annoying, but it's just really, really annoying to have to come out over and over again. And then usually the responses that you get are pretty interesting as well. And it's also challenging to be a femme, like, because we're invisible. So you hear people say things about gay people, make comments about gay marriage and things around you, just assuming that you're straight too. And yeah, it's kind of annoying. So I would say, oh, okay, this is more than one thing, obviously, but dating can be difficult because, especially if you date like femmes, like other femmes, because you can never really tell who's gay. So, and then people can't tell that you're gay. So yeah, it's challenging. Scarce. The dating scene for a young 20-something in Louisiana is really fucking scarce. Excuse my language. Um, it's it's like desolate. I mean, everybody's kind of sexing in the same circle, if you want to say. Like every now and then you'll run into people who everybody doesn't know, but for the most part, it's very, very small circle. Everybody knows each other, especially in those particular cities. Everybody's sleeping with each other, and if you're on the dating scene, the same-sex dating scene in Louisiana, I recommend you find someone on a college campus because people that are in the club all the time, they're in the club all the time, and it's the same group of people. It's drama. Like I've witnessed some drama for these lesbians that are all screwing in the same circle, if you will. It's interesting. So it's small and it's scarce. And I've relocated to Texas recently, and although I'm not on the dating scene out here, just my common observation, um, it's a small circle here too. But I think that there are more people who just don't go out who are gay out here as opposed to in Louisiana. So yeah, it's scarce. It's scary. Good luck.
Why is it scary?
Because everybody, like literally everybody knows each other. Everybody knows each other, and then you'll have like one or two people who they're not in the circle because they only date like straight women. But for the most part, I got bored one day and I did a chart. Did I show you a chart? Yeah, oh yeah. I created a little chart. I hope I brought it with me here in Texas. And it looked like the biggest Etch-a-Sketch shitstorm I've ever seen. Like, everybody was screwing everybody. So, I mean, the gay community is small in any city, whether you're in LA, New York, Louisiana, wherever. Like, it gets small because we're a small group of people, but damn, like, girl, it's something serious in Louisiana. Okay, so, I think the first time I realized, okay, I might actually be like gay was in college. I was about 20, 21 maybe. I had thoughts about women before then, as young as maybe 10 or 11, but I never really acted on it, and I didn't act on it in high school because it wasn't cool to be gay, and it wasn't acceptable. And there was a group of gay girls in my neighborhood that, well, looking back on it, they were straight. They were just bored or curious. I don't know. But, well, okay. One or two of them did turn out to be gay, and I'm actually still friends with one of them. And some of the others I haven't seen in years. But but there was a little group of girls who was kind of hanging out and messing around with each other, and I was just like, oh, like I was so curious about that. That was in high school. I never really, had any interaction on an intimate level with a woman until college. And that was like my first immediate thought was, well, does this make me bisexual? And then I quickly realized that it didn't. So, yeah. So I'd say in college. Cliche. Okay, so I met my first girlfriend in college. We met while pledging a sorority together, and for whatever reason, all my friends were kind of out of town, and there was a party that one of my friends who was having, and it was a frat party, and it was a frat that was associated with that sorority, so I thought it would be good to go and kind of mingle. And so I went and I invited her to come with me because, like, she's going to be like your line sister. You need to get to know her. So I went to this party or whatever, and she starts telling me this story about how her friend keyed her car. And I was like, why would your friend key your car? It's your friend, And she's like, yeah, I date women or whatever. And I was like, oh. And that was like my little opportunity to like go in for the kill. So so we ended up dating on and off for a couple of years. And it was a good relationship. We were young. At the end of the day, it ended, as most things do. But it was fun, and we're so cool. And yeah, it definitely helped me figure out that I was gay. The blog helped me come out because, number one, I don't feel like I can run a blog about, like, being out and proud, and then I'm not out and proud. It's hypocritical. So, it kind of helps me, I think, stick to my convictions and my values. But it also helped because I knew that if it got really big, I would have to be open about who I am, because your reality is just one Google click away, because people Google everything and find out who you are. And I knew that there would be link backs and videos and things that I was associating myself with. So it's kind of just like, okay, if you're going to do this, you got to be out. And so that's basically how it's helped me. But it's also given me a lot of insight on different LGBTQ issues and kept me just kind of up to date with things that our community needs and that we're lacking and things like that. Hence the blog. So, and this docuseries. So yeah, it helps keep me informed, and it helps keep me proud, I would say. It's interesting. It's very interesting because there's so many uh, negative associations with being gay and being black. Like, sometimes some people like to say that, oh, no, other races are just as homophobic as black people. But I truly, in my little time as a blogger, observing and learning, I truly believe that there are some deep rooted hate issues within the black community against gays and lesbians because of its religious background. So I think it's challenging. I think it's unfortunate that people feel that way, but it's interesting, especially because we haven't been visible. So queer people of color have just really beginning to gain notoriety and get their names out in mainstream media, and it's really nice to watch. I think that we're making really big moves in the right direction, and I think that our voices are being heard and we're becoming more visible. But I still think there's a lot of work to be done, especially within our own community, our own little sect, as far as transphobia and different phobias against each other. A lot of this, they don't like stud on stud, and they don't like femme on femme. I've had studs react in such a way where they feel almost like a straight man does, like I'm obligated to dating them. And they have this whole little heteronormative, like misogynistic, like vibe about them. Like, will you date femmes? I'm like, yeah. like, So, or they'll be like, oh, can I watch? I'm like, no, bitch, you can't. Like, why would I tell anybody that they can watch? You cannot watch. Go away with your little plaid shorts on. So, stuff like that is problematic. Like, and what's the name of that documentary? It's coming out. Same Difference. I think it's the Same Difference is what it's called. That is actually going to be like talking all about those issues specifically within the Black gay community. How, there's so much hate towards, well, studs have to be like this and femmes have to be like this and trying to micromanage each other's sexualities. It's just kind of crazy. So, yeah, so that's what it's like to be a Black femme.
Fun.
On a whole rant. I think that that's an incorrect assumption. I think that that's a negative stereotype that's been drummed up by a bunch of studs who have sex with straight women and then can't figure out how they end up having sex with men again. I think if you date lesbians, you don't run into that problem as much. Since y'all want to try to get outside of the circle and date straight girls, I think that women, number one, it's more acceptable in society for a woman to be experimental with her sexuality than it is for men. So a woman can go have sex with a girl a couple times and then go and get married and have the kids in the family. Whereas if a guy has sex with a guy one time, he's gay in society's eyes. So I think that there are a lot of women out here who dibble and dabble, and a lot of times they happen to be feminine. So those women give real, lesbians, women who really actually identify as lesbians or bisexual, whatever, it kind of stifles things for us because then that negative misconception gets put on us, and it's not actually us that's doing the sex voice, but at the end of the day, that's still who some people choose to date. And then they take that away and they're like, well, you're just going to be with men one day. And I'm like, well, I know studs that have ended up with men or that are pregnant or have been pregnant. Actually more than femmes. So, yeah. I think that people need to just realize, like, who's actually identifying as a lesbian or bi or whatever, and who is just playing around. You guys need to do better identifying these people. So one thing that I just try to, like, instill in other people and on my blog is that the word femme is not, like, limited to gender or sexual orientation. I just feel like it's somebody who just really embraces their feminine nature and the feminine side of themselves and is really proud of it. So feel free to be a femme. It's true. I would just say that we're to be taken seriously. That's just the biggest thing. We're to be taken seriously. And we want normal lives. We're not, lesbians in general, there's this stereotype, or just really gay people in general, like, we don't want, I hate the word normal, but we don't want just, normal lives, like, and we do. Femmes as well. Some of us want to get married, some of us don't, some of us want kids, some of us don't, but at the end of the day, we're all normal people, and we are to be taken seriously in the gay community, and we're not just playing gay. So those are the main messages that I would like to relate to the world.
Okay, my name is Jessica. I'm a real estate agent here in Texas. I recently moved from Pittsburgh, before that California, before that Louisiana, and I finally touched down here in Sugar Land. I love to cook. I went to culinary school and I briefly worked as a chef for several years, teaching cooking classes and stuff like that. I love kids, so I taught summer cooking classes for kids. And I think, what else? I love to grow vegetables. I try to get as healthy as possible. I like yoga, and I'm a femme. I discovered I was interested in women when I was about 12 in 7th grade. I had a huge crush on my science teacher. I didn't understand what it was at the time, but I knew that I wanted to sit as close as possible to her every time we had lunch. And I joined the soccer team because she was the coach. And I really sucked. But that's probably when I started to realize that I had some sort of weird feeling towards women. And I came out when I was 15, and I had a girlfriend all throughout high school.
And what did your parents think?
They didn't really know at first. My mom found out because my little sister caught my girlfriend and I kissing and ran in the living room and screamed that I was kissing a girl. And my mom kind of freaked out, and we got into a huge fight. And I guess she didn't take it very well, but they got used to it, and everyone was very accepting. It didn't take too long for that to happen. I've never really been attracted to studs. Probably dated a few, but I always secretly wanted them to be more feminine, and typically they were more feminine internally than I was, so I didn't really get that whole thing, and I ended up running things. But yeah, I've always liked feminine women. I like the smell of perfume, makeup, heels. I like my girlfriend in a dress, and that's just what I'm attracted to. They're fine by me. I don't date them or go after them ever. Typically, if I find out a girl is bisexual, if I had interest in her, I immediately lose all interest and don't pursue it further. There was one instance where I kind of gave myself, I didn't keep myself from going after a bisexual girl because I figured I wanted to be open-minded and try. I don't know why I thought that, but it was a disaster, and I realized that was a horrible decision. So that was the one and only time, and I would never do it again. I've dated a woman with one kid before once in my life. I was very young. I was probably like 18, and she was 27. She had a 4-year-old, and we dated for about 3 years. He was amazing. I was obviously too young to handle that, but she was a great mother, and I found that very attractive in her. I don't think I would be against dating someone with kids at this age in my life. I probably enjoy it because I love kids. So I guess before I would have said hell no, but being 32 now, I don't see a problem with it as long as the kid's not freshly born, because then that might be a red flag. But if the kid's 5, 6 and beyond, that's fine. From guys, I get, you're too pretty to be a lesbian or too feminine to be a lesbian. They don't take my relationship seriously most of the time. If we're out together, guys still approach us because it's not known or obvious that we're together, so that's pretty annoying. But in general, we don't really experience anything negative for the most part. I think in the past it was mostly like that, in Louisiana especially. But here, if we go out, sometimes guys will come over, but it's not really a big deal. They generally leave when I say go away. The fact that she isn't afraid to be girly or wear makeup, perfume, heels, wear a dress. Just be a girl. Be a feminine woman. Not be afraid of her sexuality or to put on a dress. Her mannerisms are feminine and girly.
So it makes you femme.
Yeah, I think so. I have my moments when I'm not as feminine, but I'm definitely pretty girly sometimes. More times than not. It's ridiculous and annoying. It doesn't really make any sense. It's aggravating. Just because we wear lipstick and a dress doesn't mean that we're not completely homosexual. So I think it's just bullshit. It's just a stereotype, because lesbians are supposed to be dykes and burly and look like Rosie O'Donnell. So, yeah, it's a dumb stereotype and people need to get over it, especially straight guys who say, oh, 2 guys are disgusting, but 2 women are hot. So, yeah, whatever. Shut up. Yeah, for the most part, I think. I don't really watch that much television. I never watched The Real L Word, so I don't know how they're depicted on that. But I heard that they were all slutty and players, maybe, so I don't know about that. But I guess they're depicted generally well on television. I don't know. I was told that I was like Alice from The L Word because she was wacky. I didn't see it, but I don't know if I identify with. Maybe there's probably a little piece of every character, but nobody in particular as far as one is concerned. Yeah, I think so. I think if we're all secure with ourselves and with our partners, and it's no one is catty or jealous. At least not anyone that we hang out with or that I hang out with. No, everybody's pretty established and settled within themselves, so we're all just pretty open and our friendships are important. Yeah, we're not really worried about anybody else as far as being catty or dramatic. Everybody likes gossip to a certain extent, but nothing major. Everybody's pretty cool. I'm super excited about it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great thing that's happened in our society. Yeah, I think it's great. I never wanted to get married, but I do now, and so I'm really excited that I have the opportunity to not have to fly on a vacation somewhere and get married or elope. And so now we can legally do it here. It's fantastic. I'm excited.